Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on my irreplaceable products, I guess, because here's the thing. So these are not just favorites, they're not just products that I really love. They're products that, because I feel like I have a lot of favorites and I have a lot of products that I love, and I feel like a lot of people do videos on like products I'm loving, whatever, you know, but these are products that I feel like either are really unique, provide me with something that I don't feel like I'm likely to find anywhere else or that I haven't found anywhere else in another product, and products that serve a purpose in my collection that aren't filled by anything else, are unique, and that I don't feel like I think it would be like a cold fucking day in hell that I would find another product that would like replace these or serve the function that they serve in my collection and in my makeup routine in like a real way. Because like, even for example, the Fenty Gloss Bombs, I love those. Those are a long-standing favorite. They're like my favorite gloss. But I'm not convinced that I'll never be able to find another gloss that I love as much as those, or that there's not already a gloss out there that like will give me the same effect or that I would potentially love as much. These products, like, I am on the bandwagon of them. Like, perhaps this is holding them to a particularly high standard, but I don't know, like, these are like more than favorites, like products that I really don't think I'm ever going to be able to replace. So a lot of these perhaps you will have seen me mention before, but that's just because I love them so much. And these are like the best of the best. So if you feel like that's what you want to watch, stay tuned. So first, I guess we'll just start with like base. I've talked about this before, but my holy grail primer, the primer that I feel like does not get enough love, and that is it's just so fucking good. It's the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer Mattifying Primer. I just feel like I've never tried another primer that does what this does. It genuinely like makes my skin a different skin type. I've never found another primer that actually makes a difference in terms of my makeup longevity. It actually does control the oil. Like it literally acts as though it's preventing my skin from producing as much oil. I notice a real tangible difference in the wear of my makeup when I wear this, and I've never found another product that does what this does. I don't need to use a lot. It lasts me so long. I just tap some in my T-zone and it makes my makeup last, like, I want to say double the amount of wear that it would without using this. And it's $40, so it's expensive for a primer that's expensive, but it lasts me like probably 2 years using this every single day. It's compact. It's just perfect. If you are oily and you really want a primer that's going to make your makeup last, this is beautiful. If you are not oily, even if you're normal, stay fucking far away from this because it's really matte. It's really, really matte, but it's so good. Also on the primer train, I've talked about this a lot as well, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but my NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, I feel like, again, we are really in the throes of like people really loving really intensely pigmented, tacky eyeshadow bases, and I think those obviously serve a purpose for a lot of people, particularly if you have a deeper skin tone and you need that type of base to make certain eyeshadow shades or tones pop on your lids. I think those definitely have a place. But just in terms of longevity of eyeshadow, My NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base is amazing. I've gone through so many tubes of this, like probably 5 or 6. Again, it lasts me such a long time, using it every time I do my makeup. And it's a little bit thinner. It doesn't, I think they do tinted versions of this now. I am partial to just like the clear one. It almost feels like a silicone primer. Like that kind of feels a little bit slippy, but my eyeshadow lasts. It looks the same as when I have put it on when I take it off at the end of the day. Even like 10, 12 hours of wear, my base could be just like a complete disaster and my eyeshadow will look immaculate. I don't have problems with fading. I don't have problems with creasing. And if I don't use this primer, I do. Like I have really incredibly oily eyelids. Like my eyelids are like pools of fucking oil. Like I can like wipe my eyelids if I'm not wearing makeup and like oil will come off. I can't emphasize enough how oily my eyelids are. And this is like a magic product. Again, it's expensive. It's NARS. I think it's $37 Canadian, but it lasts me probably a year and a half of using this every single day. So I'm personally okay with using this. And I think you could even use this underneath like an additional, like more opaque, tacky eyeshadow base if you like to use that. But if you have problems with your eyeshadow creasing and you can't find anything that will help, this is amazing. And I just don't think that I'll ever be able to find another product that will do what this does for me. This is going to be a trend in this video, but another foundation that it's a favorite, but more than that, it serves, again, a function in my collection that I just don't know if I'm going to be able to find another foundation that does, and it's the Maybelline Superstay Foundation. In terms of the fact that this, again, can you sense a trend? Like, I'm out here trying to find makeup that will last on me, because also my skin just eats makeup, especially because I have oily skin, blah, blah, blah. It eats makeup, so finding particularly foundations that will last a long time, and in this era of like wearing your mask, that's been a special concern. But this, I've talked about this I think in a recent favorites, this lasts through anything. I talked about also how I had a tattoo appointment. I wore this on the bus there during my tattoo appointment on the bus back. I was laying on my chin. My makeup looked immaculate. When I got home and took my mask off, immaculate. Like it looked, I had a little bit of rubbing on my chin, but it looked the same. If it's raining out, this will last. If you are sweating, it will last. Like it lasts forever and it has a beautiful coverage. And again, I've never experienced a foundation that lasts through anything like this does. I feel like if you need your makeup to last in any way, this is such a beautiful foundation, and it's going to be personal preference. Like I can see a lot of people not liking this, but I personally love it as someone who often likes to have long wearing foundation. It wears beautifully as well. Like it doesn't look overly matte, especially like I don't find that it does it all, and it doesn't break up. It's such a beautiful product and really unique, and I haven't come across anything like it at all. Another foundation that I actually don't have because I used it up, but it's the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. I've talked about this before. This is it's such a stunning product, and one, again, that I don't feel like gets enough love. It truly, the name literally says it all. It's really lightweight. It's really thin, but pigmented. You can build it up, but it's not like so pigmented like the Maybelline one right out the gate. It's a little bit more adjustable in terms of coverage, and it lasts all day, similar to the Maybelline one. Maybe not quite as intensely long wearing as that, but it has a really beautiful wear time. Again, it doesn't break up. It lets your natural oil show through, but it still lasts very well. And it really does have an effect that I've never seen any other foundation have, where when you put it on, it really does have like a luminosity to it that's not even dewy, not even glowy. It just makes your skin look alive and fresh and like skin-like, but better, but still maintaining a good coverage. It's just delicious. It's so, so nice, and I really want to buy another one of it, but it is expensive. And if I ever have like another special event, or maybe when like I get my vaccine, which we can sign up for in like 10 days, so I'm so excited for that, but maybe I'll buy it when we're actually like going out and about again one day in the future. But it's so, so beautiful, and I've never come across a foundation that does anything remotely like the effect it gives at all. Another product that I talk about all the time that I literally use every day, another NARS product. It's the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I know that everyone talks about this, so again, I'm going to try to keep my thoughts about this concise, but it blends itself. I have blue eyeshadow in this. It gives beautiful coverage without looking heavy, without looking cakey on blemishes or across your face. It wears like a dream. Again, it doesn't break up. It doesn't get gunky if you're oily. I've heard a ton of dry skinned people love this as well. And I use it to cut my crease. I used it today. It's the perfect consistency to manipulate, to do cut creases. It's not too sticky, but it's not too thin that you can like really easily manipulate it on your lid. It's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful concealer. Truly, truly, truly. And again, it's fucking expensive. NARS is just like ridiculous with their prices. Honestly, I don't know where they get off charging these stupid prices, but I buy it because I love it. I love it so much. And now I can use concealers that don't have to be super full coverage. I can use like a lighter concealer and then go in and spot conceal with this, and my skin just looks smooth and beautiful and flawless. And I've never found another concealer that like is as beautiful as this one in the function that I use it for. Another concealer that I think is just the cream of the crop. I cannot even imagine a concealer that has a better formula. Truly. Like, obviously I love the NARS one, but this is like kind of serves a different purpose for me. Again, I don't have it because I used it all the way up, but it's the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Again, I'll pop a picture up on the screen here. When I say that this is my perfect concealer formula in terms of like an all over the face concealer, it is. It blends immaculately. There's no issues with blending it. You just like boop 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 your sponge and it's blended in, and there's no like lines of where you can see where the end of your concealer like blended or whatever. Like a lot of full coverage concealers can have that effect, like they don't blend out the best and you can see like lines of demarcation or whatever. Not with this. It's like I can't even express to you how amazingly this concealer blends. It also has the most beautiful coverage. It will cover anything, but it doesn't have like a thick cakey formula that I feel like a lot of people, including myself, typically associate with concealers that are fuller coverage. It's also in like double the size of an like average concealer, so it lasts me such a long time. And I have never found a concealer again that has this formula that I think I'll ever be satisfied with. Like, it just is like, again, the most beautiful concealer that I don't think I'll ever be able to like replace that specific formula in my collection in terms of a full coverage all over concealer. I have ones that I like, but none that I've ever come across that do the same thing as that. And now that I'm talking about it, I just want to buy it again. But I have other concealers in my collection that I'm trying to use up. So now we've moved on away from base products Now I want to get into like some more color cosmetics and stuff that are a little bit more fun. So again, if you've watched my channel, you know that I love this. The Likely Makeup Clown Blush Palette. I haven't used her other blush palette that she offers, but I desperately want it. And I imagine that it's the same formula, but this is like, again, the most beautiful blush formula that I've ever used. First of all, the color choices that she's chosen, delicious. I mean, also just like the packaging of this product, the artwork, the concept. I wouldn't expect anything less from Jordy, but it just is such a pleasure to use. And I love it. It blends like a dream. Pigmented, but easy to manipulate. Especially, I have a really obviously fair skin tone, and I can use like this red blush and I have no issues with it blending at all. You can sheer them out, you can build them up to get really intense looks. They don't look like super powdery or matte, even though they are matte blushes, and I just can't, like I always say when I talk about this product, I can't imagine a better blush formula. I've never come across a blush formula that I love as much as this, and I just think this is an irreplaceable product because I can't imagine coming across a blush formula really that will ever top this or compare to this, or that I will feel like I can, like a lot of blushes I'm like, this is really nice. Is it like the most unique blush ever? No. Do I have other blushes in my collection that do give a similar effect or perform the same way? Yes. Not with this. Not with this by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel that way, again, with a lot of highlighters, with the exception of this highlighter. And I don't know what it is about this highlighter that's so special. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter is like deceivingly great, because when you look at it, even when you swatch it, it doesn't look amazing. It just looks like a typical champagne highlighter. But this is like glass skin in a compact. Even when you apply it, you're like, this is nice. And then you like finish your makeup and you look at your face and you're like, my skin looks more beautiful than it's ever looked in my life. And it has the most beautiful shine to it, but it doesn't look like an overly metallic highlighter. I don't know. I just think it's so beautiful. And I originally bought this because Amy Loves Makeup talks about this a lot, and every time she wore this in a video, I'd be like, fuck, what highlighter is she wearing? And it was always this. And now when I use this and I look back and like pictures that I'm like trying to like figure out which pictures to post or whatever, or pictures that I've used this in, I'm like, fuck, what highlighter am I wearing? And it just is like, makes your skin look so luminous and glowy in a non-offensive way, and it's just so nice, and I love it so much. And it's, again, expensive, but I just have never found a highlighter that gives the effect that this gives. And I have a lot of highlighters, like too many highlighters, and I've not found a highlighter that does this. Another game changer product for me, and I have a lot of these, and again, I've never found a lipstick that does what these do. The Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipsticks. I have 5 shades of these, and I would be interested in purchasing more, because these, especially again, as someone who prefers long wearing makeup, especially in this era of wearing masks, and you want something that is never going to come off your lips all day, even if you eat, drink, whatever. Like if I was going to a conference and I wanted to like wear lipstick to look put together, but I didn't want to have to worry about reapplying it or whatever. It's like an all day thing where you know you're gonna be like eating and drinking or whatever, or just talking. These stain your lips. They're a little bit sticky. So if you don't like something that is going to be tacky on your lips, I mean, you won't like these. But I've never come across a formula like this ever before. They're so unique, and I just can't emphasize enough how much they stay on your lips, but they don't make your lips look dry or cracked. They have like they're not totally like full matte. They have like a little bit of tackiness to them, but that almost helps them in the way that they wear and the way that they look, because your lips don't look like shriveled prunes, you know? I have the shade Driver. I love this. It's such a beautiful, like warm peachy nude for me, for my skin tone. I also have the shade Loyalist, which I don't use as much. It's like a lighter pink. I think I thought that this was going to look a little bit different, but I have it. I also have the shade Huntress, which my friend got for me. It's this beautiful, like purpley gray. I really want to use this again. This is so nice, especially again for a color like this. This is like the formula that you want. I have the shade Seductress, which is another, I guess I'm swatching all of these, a beautiful like mid-toned like rosy brown. This is like a shade that I would wear for presentations, conferences, anything like that pre-pandemic. And then I also have the shade Pioneer. If I have like a holiday event to go to, I'll wear this and it will last through anything. And it's like, that's what you want. More could you want from a red lipstick, you know? So I feel like these are so unique, so beautiful, and irreplaceable, truly, to me. Okay, and last but not least, again, I fucking rave about these all the time, but I just have never found anything that I like more. The Melt Amor Eterno palettes. I think this is like a smash hit from Melt, and more specifically the Muerte palette, because this offers me so many deep shades that I don't have anywhere else, or even if I have them in other places in my collection, like I don't feel like I love them as much as these. I have like deeper reds, a deep green, a deep blue, and those are like kind of the shades that I often find myself reaching for when using other palettes. And even with the Club Nebula Kaleidos palette, there's like a deep blue, a deep green in there, but sometimes with Kaleidos and layering a whole bunch of mattes on top of each other, it can get a little bit finicky, and I love Melt for that. Like they layer beautifully. I know that I'm going to get the rich depth that I need and crave that I miss with a lot of palettes. And I just, even though I have other dark blues, other dark greens that I like and enjoy, I've never found them really to replace this palette in terms of like the gap that it fills in my collection. I think this Melt formula is beautiful. I actually haven't really tried many of the controversial Melt palettes. I find that all the Melt palettes that I've used haven't really given me any issues, although I know that they're considered to be largely like the palettes that generally work for people anyway. And I like, truly, this palette is irreplaceable to me. If this ever broke or I've lost this, I would be devastated. It seems extreme, but I might truly be distraught. And I do want to give a little bit, this maybe isn't an irreplaceable product, but it's a product that I haven't really found anything that rivals my love for this. The Fenty Beauty Killawatt Foil Freestyle Highlighter and Sangria Sunset and Mimosa Sunrise. This is like the most beautiful glowy blush formula that I've ever used. Every time I use it, I'm like, I can't imagine a better product. I can't imagine a better like glowy blush. This is more like an honorable mention because I'm sure I can find glowy blushes that do give this effect, but I haven't yet, and it is just like the most beautiful glowy blush duo. And I have to just like actively stop myself from using. And so while this potentially may be replaced, I doubt it. I doubt it. Right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this was okay and kind of like a okay video idea. I had this idea and I was like, this is more than favorites. Like, these are truly products that I don't think I'll ever be able to replace. Let me know what your products that you like genuinely don't think you'll ever be able to find replacements or dupes for, and that you just love so much more, like they're more than favorites to you. Let me know if you enjoyed this video or if you hated it, because that would also be helpful to know. I did film this look. It is coming in my Cliona video that I'm planning on doing hopefully sometime this month. Everything that I have on my face will be listed in the description box. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!